Welcome to today's show, Sports Therapy with FH Jr. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Today is Saturday. A little bit about the show. Let me get my introduction real quick. Sports Therapy. I am your host once again, FH Jr. Now, Sports Therapy. This is entertainment only. Once again, I am not a doctor, so do not call in and call me doctor. Although I am a certified counselor, I am not a doctor, and this is entertainment only. We do not talk about politics. We don't care what the president is doing, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican. Don't care for right now. Today is sports therapy. We don't talk race relations, nor do we get into sexual identity. We don't get into any of those things. This is a show designed where we can all kind of escape all those things and just kind of laugh, have a good time, and talk about, i.e., NFL football and football only. Now, let's talk about the format of our show. Now, callers call in. You'll get up to 3 minutes. You can laugh, rip, rant, or kick some knowledge about all things football related. So please keep your conversation to football and football only. And if you call in, please turn your volume on if you're doing cell phone or whatever, please turn your volume all the way up so that we can hear you. Now, today's show is streamed live. It is streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. And also I will post today's show so you can see it on Spotify, Amazon Radio, all the platforms out there. So, or you can just Google Sports Therapy with FH Jr. and it will take you to today's show and all our past episodes as well. Now, today's show. Let's see. I did a promo this week, and if you watch my promo, somebody asked me. They already commented and asked me a question about my attire. Yes, I had my throwback Redskin attire. Now, keep in mind, now I am a true blue Redskin fan. Although I have embraced the new name of the Commanders, I like it. It's starting to grow on me. I think it's starting to grow on a lot of our fans. Now, I was cool with the football team. It was kind of unique, and personally, I wouldn't mind if we had stayed the football team, but things change, and it is what it is. But now, I am back in my standard uniform. So every time I call or every time somebody call in or when I do the show, this will be the standard uniform. As you can see, yes, I do wash my shirt. It's not the same. Do I have it on? It's not the same old, same old, same old. But today's show is about the NFL preseason. Now, rookies have started to report, and a lot of other people are starting to report in as well. A few veterans. I think everybody should be in training camp by next Wednesday. So today's show is geared, and we're going to be talking about preseason. And I asked the question in my promo: do we really need preseason football? I'm glad football is back, but do we really, really, really need the preseason? Do we really need it? That's a question I've asked, and I talked with one of my frequent callers, and that's Ricardo Malbrew, and Malbrew is a coach, and so I get a lot of insight from him. Although I did play football in high school, did not go any further than high school, but I followed football, love football, especially NFL and some college. Now, although we will be always talking about NFL games, now you can call in and do a little shout out for your college team, for example. If you call in and give a big whoop pig, I won't have no problem with that because I am from the great state. But we won't be talking college football. No. That's not what our show is about. But as I was saying, we're going to be getting into preseason. And the question I've asked, do we really need preseason? And people say, yeah, we need preseason. I'm kind of, well, see, I'll tell you why. When I think about preseason started when um, Back in the days, now it's gonna predate a lot of people, but back in the days when the team didn't pay the players a lot of money, so players had to do a lot of things to kind of offset their income. Some of them were teachers, some of them did construction work, some of them did a lot of things. So then when they reported to training camp, guys were out of shape. They were out of shape because they wasn't doing that. Nowadays, athletes, they get like a summer workout plan. This is what the expectation is, like a conditioning plan. They get everything basically. And so today's football players, they report to camp in condition. They should be. But back in the days, they had to have preseason, and that was because the NFL wanted to make sure that before we put this product on the air, they need to make sure that everybody was in shape. Because who's gonna watch something and you get guys huffing and puffing and can't play the entire game or something like that? So that's why back in the days they had the preseason. I understand it was built on conditioning. You needed to have people in shape. I get it. I get it. I understand it. But do we really need the preseason now? There's some of us who say, nah, man, do away with that and give us some extra games. Do away with that crap. Give us some extra games. I want to be entertained. I don't want to watch. Now, I'll be honest. I don't watch a lot of preseason. Now, I will watch the Hall of Fame game, and that's because of the pageantry and everything that come along with the Hall of Fame selection. I want to see who's gonna be going in, who's gonna be selected, and all that. And so I will stick with that whole Hall of Fame celebration that whole week, and I watch the Hall of Fame game. But I will tell you, I am so out on I am so out on preseason games. That's because when I do watch, I usually watch to see how long the starters are gonna play. And you guys know I'm not the only one who just watch and see how long the starters are gonna be in there. And when the starters are in there, man, I am out. I am out. And some of you are the same way. So don't be looking at me like, man, I stick with it. No, you don't. No, you don't. You do not. Do not lie. Everybody, you guys know when the starters are not there, man, we are out. We all out. We bail out. So the question is, do we need the preseason? Do we need the preseason? Now, like I said, I talked to my buddy, and he gave a lot of good information as to why, but he gave it from a coach's perspective. Now I'm coming from Joe the fan. I am Joe the fan. Joe the fan don't give a fat rat's butt about. Oh, we want to see the rookies. We want to see, we're drafting. My point of it is with all these guys that you paid in your scouting department, all the film that's out there and whatever, you should know before you should know what you're drafting. And my take on that is, what the hell do you do between reporting for training camp right now and the actual football season? Because the actual, I think the first schedule is going to be like the first week of September, somewhere along there. So I'm saying, what are you doing in practice? Why are we going to Oxnard, Cowboys? Commanders, what are we doing? Why do we need to have, why are we not walking through and doing the thing that we need to do? Why can't we just scrimmage? Because I'm saying that because most high schools and college, they don't play 4 to 5 preseason games, 3 to 4 preseason games. They may play a little scrimmage with each other, and they may scrimmage with maybe, I don't know, a college close by, and man, they get it on. They get it on. They don't have this stuff. So now, as I always tell people, I don't just get out of bed and wing this show. I don't. I do research. I do research. Now, all throughout my college career, now, once again, I am a certified counselor, master level, but I do not have a PhD. So do not call me doctor. But when I was going to grad school, I enjoy doing research. I love doing research, man. I love data. I love desegregating data. I'm okay with some of the analytics. Some I don't know about. When I say I don't know about, some analytics, sometimes I think they go a little bit too far. But I'm okay with the data. But I love doing research, and I'm saying that to get into this. I read an article. Now this is an old article, and it's from Matt Bowen, and it's called "Breaking Down the Progression of the NFL Preseason." So this is gonna kind of like, I guess, for people like myself who just want to. I just want to see the finished product, man. I don't care about all that other stuff. I just want to see the finished product. So that's where I was with that. So I read this article. Now, keep in mind that things have changed as far as how the preseason should be rolled out now, because now, based on the collective bargaining agreement between the players and the owners, the preseason has changed. There is no more 4 preseason games, thank God. There's only 3, and it was a give take situation. The players were concerned about injury. The owners wanted to keep preseason because it's about revenue. That's the old saying: you don't leave money on the table. Owners wanted to do that, and so they compromised. Now, as a fan, we want to see more games. Let's be honest. When football season ends after the Super Bowl, I don't watch the Pro Bowl. I'll be honest. I'm out on that. It's an exhibition. I just don't really get into exhibition sports and stuff like that. That's because I know they're not real. But when football season ends, there's kind of like a sadness that takes place when you like, oh hell, oh hell, that's it. Now, yeah, I get into the NBA a little bit, um, college basketball, but it doesn't replace that place in our heart for the weekly NFL games. But getting back to my article, Matt Bowen broke this down and kind of gave us a summation of what's expected in the preseason. So it might make me feel a little bit better. What made me feel a little bit better in terms of what's going on and what do coaches look for? Um, just like when I called and I talked to my buddy and I asked him, I said, "Hey, guy," um, I was like, "Hey, what?" Because he was trying to sell me on the importance of football, and I was like, "Dude, I don't know. I think that's a waste of time or whatever." Um, and so anyway, we got to talking, and what he said was, "Hey, coaches need to be able to evaluate rookies. They need to be able to see what's going on with rookies, what's happening with rookies, how are if we're wasting or spending a high draft pick, then we need to find out what's up with our rookies." And so I said that, and I said, "Okay, dude, I get you. I don't understand it. I think they should be able to play. I think you should be able to cover all that in football practice. You get almost a month. So why the heck do we need to have you know?" So anyway, the article talked about, and they broke this thing down. And remember, I talked about when guys back in the days they weren't paying the players anything, so the players had to take extra jobs and things of that nature. So that being said, um, that was why a lot of guys came and they weren't in shape, and because they were not in shape, they had to do something different. Now, real quick, I'm going to let's see here. Okay. second. I'm gonna start the show again. I got people trying to call in, and I need to adjust this real quick, and then we'll get right back to what we're doing. Let's see. Bear with me, folks. So Matt talked about during the first when people report into the initial, basically what he said was that it's just glorified practice. The first preseason game, players don't get any type of game plan. They don't get anything. They just basically you get on the plane and it's like you get on the plane and you go play football. Yeah, it's like okay, you go play football.
Thank you for calling Call-In
Okay,
Studios host and call screener
I'm
line.
gonna have to
Please
re
enter your
do
show
this
or
real
meeting number and
quick.
press pound. Enter your 6-digit PIN number. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface.
All right, I had to go back and reset that because for some reason we had a little technical difficulty, but we are good to go. But as I was saying, based on this article that was written by Matt Bourne, he said like the first preseason game is just a follow up of practice. It's basically you get to see the rookies and the veterans, but it's mostly about conditioning. All they want to see is where we are in that. Guys have like a summer, like I said, they don't get any plan or anything like that. They don't they don't get anything on the team they're gonna play. There's no scouting report of anything of that nature. You just basically go play. Now what they're looking at is the coaches are just wanting to see where their players are. They're just here. This is just like a like they're not really doing anything as far as with the defenses. They're either gonna play either cover one, cover two, and now it's just looking at techniques. You know, rookies go in and go as fast as you can based on whatever assignment that we techniques or whatever that we have been working on during practice. It's almost like they're gonna get a chance to go and apply those things, and in the meantime, the coaches are just observing. That's all they want to do. They want to see are guys using the right feet technique? Are they using the right hand technique? Are they lining up where they're supposed to be? And then it's almost like we want to see who has a motor, as I was saying. You know, so that's what that first pregame is about. It's not they're not game planning or anything like that. They're not really doing anything. They're just like that's what it's about. So it's a glorified practice. It's starters. The starters may play one or two reps, and that's it. Because I mean, it's about conditioning. But as I was saying, unlike the old days, NFL professional athletes, you are expected to be in shape. You know, now I used to kind of poo-poo on that and say, wait a minute, what the hell? What do you mean? The guys gotta, because I used to ask, why are guys going on this unable to perform list? I think they call it the pup list, and I might be wrong on that, the title, but it's almost like this guy got to get in shape enough to start practicing. I was like, wait a minute, you're supposed to report to training camp so that you can start practice. So you got some guys that now you have to be in condition enough to start to practice. So when I look at all that, I was like, okay, I got you. Like I said, during that first week, they don't work on anything. As far as when I say they don't work on anything, I'm talking about that first game. It's just a matter of they're not really paying attention what the other team is doing because the coaches are all they're only looking at their player. That's what the evaluation is about. Now what gets me is, and I'm thinking, if I spend a or if we spend a high draft pick on a player, and we're looking at this guy, and we've scouted this guy, and we've looked at film on this guy, and we want to make sure that we're not going to miss in terms of how we use this draft pick. Do we really, really get a good look at some of these other guys who are just trying to make the team, the late round draft picks or whatever? Because first thing I want to know is, did I hit or miss on this high draft pick or this rookie? And so that's what I want. So I don't think these guys do in week one when they play that first preseason game is that they go at it and they go at it just, it's more conditioning more than anything. It's what you call live fire because of there are no more tour days. See, you can't have tour days, and so the players don't really hit. As I was saying, I remember something I was watching. Sometimes they'll get these reports and says, "Well, so and so was looking real good." Hell, every football player look good in shorts and and shoulder pad. Hell, they ain't hitting nobody, and so they don't get to do any real live fire until preseason. But here, they're just looking at everything is base. I don't even think linebackers blitz. They may, and I don't know, but I just know during the first preseason game, it's not really competition. It's more it is a evaluation of talent. And I guess as a fan, as Joe the fan, I don't want to see that. You know, I don't want to see that. Hold on, let me bring my first call in and see what's on their mind. Welcome to Sports Therapy.
Yes, what's going on there, brother? I'm back again, the cowboy hater.
Oh hell, it's my homeboy Glenn. Hey,
That's right. I was just called to put in my rant again, let you know I hate the Cowboys.
hey, before you go on your rant, I want to ask you a question. Now, today's show, and you'll have plenty of time to hate on the Cowboys, but today's show is about preseason. Do we need the preseason, Glenn? Now, let me tell people about my relationship with Glenn. If people just call it in. And Glenn and I go way back to, man, we go back to potty training together. See, what people don't understand back in the days, man, when they potty train you, I mean, you got your butt whooped to keep you.
You didn't have to say that.
So we went back. We go way back to potty training days together, man. So you know what I'm saying. So anyway, Glenn, appreciate you calling, brother. But I want to ask this question.
Oh yeah, anytime.
I was talking to my listeners and I was giving them the gist of the preseason. Now, some people think. Let me ask you, how do you feel about preseason football?
Boring. Boring. They need to play about maybe 2 games and skip on over to regular season.
Okay. And see, that's the gist of everybody that I talk to off there, except for coaches, those who high school coaches and whatever. Okay, now the reason I'm saying this is because they're saying, "Hey, man, it's a good way to evaluate talent." And man, my argument is, hell, that's what you got that whole damn month for when people are reporting to training camp. What are y'all doing in training camp?
That's right.
Yeah,
I feel like training camp should be good enough.
it should be. And he said, "Well, we have to be able to look at our we have to be able to look at our rookies. We have to know is our chance to see our rookies and see." And I said to one of my callers, I said, "Hey, if you're scouting a rookie and you spending a first round draft pick on this particular person, hey, you should know what you're getting. And what are you doing in that whole month or so before the actual season starts?" Now, granted, they can't do off season. Well, I said they can't do tour days anymore, where you put on pads and y'all just go at it until you figure out who can play and who can't play. I got that. But Glenn, I'm like you, brother. You know, give.
I think they should just go to 2 games. If they can't if they can't recognize how good a player is in 2 games, that's bad on the coaches because they should have films on them. They're watching them from the time they played in high school and through college. I feel like that should be enough information for them to tell what type of talent they should have.
Okay, I agree. I agree.
Yes, and I think because they players now they got so much access to everything, that should be enough to let them know what they got. They're still playing 2 extra games. I can understand. Weather is hot in the summertime and everything, but they could just move it back, extra week in December if they have to.
Well, hell, Glenn, everybody got a dome, man. Damn. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about.
All stadiums, man,
Yeah,
they can set
that's
that
what I'm
bad boy to
talking about.
70 degrees.
I hate dome stadiums. I hate dome stadiums because that's a weak move too. Football players supposed to be tough. They don't supposed to play inside.
Boy, you old school, aren't you? Glenn,
That's for
you old school, aren't you?
the old school to the core, baby.
Glenn, according to you, I guess the Joker should have a helmet, a leather helmet.
There you go. Bring back the leather helmet. Bring back the football, because what we got now, that's not football. That's 7-on-7.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, and what I was telling the callers about that first week, the first preseason game is just about evaluating talent. The guy, they don't even get a game plan of the team that they're gonna play. You don't get a game plan. Say we're playing the Raiders, we don't get a game plan on them. It's just the first preseason game is just a practice. Guys, they just want to see how you're gonna line up. They're checking guys for the technique. Let's see, they want to check the interior line, defensive and offensive line to see, the guys using their proper foot alignment and all that good stuff. And then they're only gonna play either cover 1 or cover 2 on defense. And then maybe zone running for the running backs. Because you're not gonna really put anything out there. And so as a rookie, you're not really, what are you evaluating me on is I guess whether I can line up or whether I can whatever. So I'm like, what the hell, man?
That's right. I totally agree, man. I totally agree. If they can't, they should, after 2 games, that should be enough.
You would think.
Yeah, because simple fact, them guys, them they supposed to be skilled players, and they already been evaluated all through colleges.
You would think.
That should be enough, Yeah. Because when the season started anyway, they still gonna call a bunch of penalties, holding. Defensive pass interference, and it's just gonna take. It's still gonna take about after 4 or 5 games to get adjusted in there anyway. The quicker, the better.
I agree. And so that's why now this is me. Now people know, like I said, when you call into this show, man, your opinion is your opinion. And we don't hold that against you. There is no right or wrong. But I just know for me that whenever I'm watching the preseason game, man, after the starters play and they come out, man, I'm done, man. I'm done.
Yeah, because preseason is boring, man. After the first quarter, nobody want to look at it anyway.
Nah. After that, I'm done. I am done. So, if you are tuning in for the first time, you're watching Sports Therapy with FH Jr. Our show is streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. If you want to call in, the number to call in. If you want to be a live guest on the show, and you want to call in and rant, rip, laugh, or hate on the Cowboys like my homeboy Glenn, then you call 940-329-4110. That's 940-329-4110. All right, Glenn, keep hating.
I'm always hating. I want to say one more thing before I let you go.
Nah, you good, man.
Excellent job, my brother. Huh?
Nah, you good. Because
I'm good. I just want to let you know you're doing an excellent job. Great job. I'm proud of you. And I'm happy for everything you got going, brother.
All right, thank you. So now while I got you on here, I want to ask Now we talked about what's going on in the first preseason game. Now, second preseason game. Now I don't know if you noticed, brother Glenn, because teams can't go 8-8 anymore because there was an agreement between the Players Association, the owners, that they will have 17 games now. So they traded back one in lieu of, instead of having 4 preseason football games, we only have 3. There's only gonna be 3, and they get to do one for one additional regular season game. So it's going from 16 games, now we got 17. So that means that the preseason games, how they evaluate teams have changed. Whereas the third game was always that dress rehearsal game, where the starters would play anywhere from, I know they're gonna play a half to almost in the third quarter. They get a game plan and they start actually working on packages, things like what they're gonna do in the red zone. Things of special teams that really going hard. Where you start to put in what you're trying to do. Starters play, second team. You trying to figure out now not only who I have as my starters, I need to figure out, do I have any quality backup. You get to do that in the third game, but now, because Glenn, they're only playing like 3 games now, so the things that you normally do in game 3, you'll probably see those in the second preseason game. So I have tendencies to maybe stay with the second preseason game a little bit more, but other than that, after that, then I'm out.
I totally agree. I totally agree, because the simple fact that players now making, and it's not just being jealous of anything or like that, but players now making so much money, they should be prepared when they go into the off season, be already in shape, already should have some kind of knowledge of what they're gonna be doing when the season starts.
And see, that's my argument, and I think that, yes, and that's the expectation, is that, you remember, these guys get together all the time. The quarterback and the receivers, they get together and throw all something, because you need to know how this guy play. So that, because a lot of the conversation between, the communication between running back and receivers and quarterback, is based on timing. So they get together during the summer and work on the passing plays. You got the linemen, they're constantly getting, these guys don't report to camp out of shape. And you're right, they do have and that's the expectation. So why the hell do we need an additional time for guys to be trying to have to come in and play? I don't understand it.
I totally agree, because like I said a while ago, much money them guys, much they have plenty of time,
Mm-hmm.
They got all season to practice and stay in shape. I feel like, it's just like, to me, it just feels like a waste of time, Who want to sit up and watch something that it don't count on your record or nothing like that anyway?
I got you.
Yeah, and unless you the Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys and maybe 1 or 2 more teams, you might need 2 or 3 more extra games. Maybe sometimes you might need a whole season in order to.
Well,
they're not gonna go nowhere anyway.
Well, this is what I say about when I see a preseason game and I see teams that are really winning. That lets me know that's not a good team, because the real teams that got together and the teams are solid, they're not going to show you much. They're not going to play players too much, and they may not even win a preseason game. And people take that. Oh man, our team is 4-0 in preseason. Season start, man, they get their butt handed to them.
That's right. That's a prime example. That's a good way to put it, my brother. Because a lot of people think just because you have a 4-0 record that you're going to the playoffs, but that's not necessarily true.
No, not
a lot of times you'll probably have to pay off preaching for Thanksgiving.
Hey, thank you. Yeah. Well, Glenn, appreciate you calling, brother. And
and one more thing I got to say.
Sure.
One more thing.
I'm gonna let you get your hate in on the Cowboys real quick.
Okay, I'm just want to say one more thing to all the audience that listen. I'm happy. I'm happy for my boy Frank Hammer and all you Cowboy fans. You might want to get ready for a long, sad season this year because it's coming, baby.
All right, man. Thank you for calling, brother.
All right, love you, brother.
All right, you too, man. Love you, bro.
All right.
Welcome to Sports Therapy with FA
Hello?
Junior.
Hello?
Yeah. Who we got?
Jetta.
Is this Jetta from Grand Prairie?
This is she.
So, Jetta, let me ask you a question. Preseason, how you feel about preseason football? Love it or hate it?
Hate it. It's a waste of time. It don't count. Like the last caller was saying, it don't count.
So, you don't now? Do you watch a whole preseason game?
No.
And see,
You're not going to waste my time watching it.
So now, let me ask you this question. Most of the people that I talked to and that called in, and ones that I talked to off the air, first thing that they told me, they said, hey, they hate the preseason game. They said, man, it is a waste of time. Guys should be in shape. And they don't know why we're watching the preseason. But Jetta and Grand Prairie, let me put you on hold for a second. And I am going to do a commercial, okay? All right, let me put you on hold and I'll bring you back up. All right, FA Junior here for my favorite drink. That's Crown Royal. Crown Royal blended Canadian whiskey. Patiently fit for a king. Expertly blended since 1939. After a hard day, I reach for a bottle of Crown Royal. And you know what I say? Crown me, baby. Drink Crown Royal responsibly. That is my drink. All right, Jetta and Grand Prairie?
Yep.
All right, you telling me how you hate the preseason football game. Now, you do know. Now, if I'm correct, you are a big Who Dat fan, right?
That's right.
That's right. So now, there's no more. Nobody can go 8-8 anymore because we have 17 games instead of 16 games. So you either have a winning season or a losing season. There will be no more 8-8. Nobody can go 8-8 anymore. So I just know. Now, me personally, I tell people the reason that I am opposed to preseason is because I just think that the guys have a month. Football is an all year sport. They stay in shape. They're not out of shape like years ago when football first started. The NFL had to make sure that before they put a quality product out there, they need to make sure that their athletes were up to standard. So they had to have preseason game, which was to get you ready because the players wasn't making a lot of money back in the 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s. They wasn't making a lot of money. So a lot of them had to have second jobs. Some of them worked the docks. Some of them were teachers. Some did some manual labor. Some worked construction. So these guys didn't do anything during the summer. So, yeah, they had to come in and do preseason. And those back then, they were also had what they call tour days. They could actually put pads on and hit and do all those things. But nowadays, you don't have to do that because the players stay in shape all year long. So I'm like, come on. Do we really need preseason football? And besides, just like you, myself, and Glenn, my homeboy who called, nobody actually watches the preseason game. So then we're gonna talk later on about TV ratings. You know, nobody's watching, so who's paying for it? You know. So what say ye on that?
I see what you're saying. Okay, so yeah, I think it needs to be up to date because nobody watches it. I mean, like you said, it should be in shape by now. Nobody's gonna watch somebody that if you're not you may not start during the regular season. So why?
Yeah, and also,
and the viewers not gonna watch them. Why bother?
I know, and see the and I was talking to one of my regular calls. He says, "Well," and he's a coach, so I see it from his perspective. He's like, "Hey, man, we really need to get in and look at the talent. It gives us a chance to evaluate the rookies. We need to know what rookie can play because we spent a high draft pick on this player, and so we want to know, can this guy play?" And because of that, they're saying they need at least 3 to 4 preseason games to evaluate their rookies to see what they got. I'm like,
But nobody gonna watch this.
and see, you're coming from a pure fan point of view, which is what, and I think the league had to stand up and take notice to. What are the fans saying? Yeah, what are the fans are saying? The fans are saying, look,
It's not gonna count. I don't want to watch
I
it.
don't want to watch it because it's not real football. Not real football. Okay. Well, Jetta, for Grand Prairie, thank you for calling in. Appreciate you calling and call back again. All right.
All right.
All right. So now, getting back to my article. My man, Matt Bowen. Now he broke this thing down, and he gave a breakdown of the expectation, the progress of football. Gave us the progress, and we talked about the first preseason game, and as I was talking to Glenn, my caller Glenn, Jetta from Grand Prairie, one thing we talked about was we don't care about all that. We're the fans. We're saying, hey, give us a quality product or we're going to be out. It goes back to, I'm saying, do we need preseason football? And the league took a look at that. And we're going to talk about that here. But first, I want to talk about, because of the adjustments here, it used to be 4 games. We had to sit and endure 4 preseason games. And I definitely didn't look at the last one because it was just all rookies. There was just penalties everywhere. Guys just trying to make, and I understand from a football player perspective, these guys are trying to make the team. They're looking at their livelihood, man. I need to get one last chance to impress the coach. You know, that's the old saying when I was playing. You know, this was years ago. They say, hey, man, you want to impress the coach? Miss a tackle and hit him. Hell, he'll know you can hit. You know, that's what I was told. You want to make the team? Hell, hit the coach. Miss a tackle, hit the coach. You know damn well you can play. He said, hell, at least I know he'll hit. But I'm I'm being a little bit facetious. But the league now, as I was saying, there's only 3 games now, so they're having to make accommodation for that. So some of the things that we would see in the second week, we're probably going to see in the third week because the second week is now the dress rehearsal. The dress rehearsal is always that game where everything is building up on the last game. In other words, after game 1, position coaches, they'll get with the rookies and say, hey, you know, based on the film, now they have film on the players in live fire, as we say. So they can look at it and say, hey, look, here you did this. You need to correct this. Let's work on this. Let's work on this technique. You know, you lost coverage here. You look good here. And it gives them something to build on. That was under the old plan when it was 4 games. But now I'm thinking I know they're starting to put in game plans. So game 2 should be the dress rehearsal game where stars will play a lot longer, and it gives the coaches time to make halftime adjustments. They get game plans for the team that they're going to play. They get to make some halftime adjustments, and that way, you know, this is live fire. You can see, and you also get a chance to see what kind of depth we're going to have, who we have behind our starters. So here, you usually have the backup quarterback playing a lot. You've got backup positions everywhere, and safeties and cornerbacks. Your third and four position players. They're trying to see is there a play for them on there. They're trying to. These people are trying to make a team. I understand that. So if it sounds like I'm saying I just don't want to see it, I'm talking as a fan, not as a coach, because we're looking from two different lens here. Coaches are looking at, okay, hell, I'm trying to save my job, so I need to know, can these guys play? But me, as Joe the fan, I want to be entertained. I want something that's going to keep my butt in the seat. I want something that's going to just, keep me there. So if I have to look at preseason games, I got tendencies to bail. I'm going to change the channel. I'm going to bail. And so the league took a look at that. But as I was saying, when we get into, because there is an adjustment here, there are no more four games, 4 preseason games. So everything has been adjusted. And based on that, and I know the coaches have to adjust how they evaluate. But as I was saying, I'm thinking the second game is pretty much the dress rehearsal game. That's more they actually put in play. They started the game plan. Coaches start the game plan because you need to know, hey, under certain situations, we're going to run this. We need to know if this is going to work. We're starting to look at, positions. Let's work on red zone plays. Let's work on putting some things in. Let's get the our other positions involved, the third down back. Let's get all that moving and grooving. Let's see. This is the dress rehearsal game, but that usually is the third game. But I'm thinking they're going to have to now take a look at and move some of those things that they would look at in the third game and maybe the second, and then the actual third game, which is the last game. That pretty much is the game for which they totally look at the rookies and trying to figure out, what's what. These are guys who are trying to make a team. But not only, although a lot of the guys are going to get cut, they know it, but it's a chance to put some film out there because other teams may, they may need, they have needs. So it gives, look, I'm not saying that it's useless. I'm just saying from a fan's point of view. I'm saying from a fan's point of view, I think, I hate preseason games. I'm being honest, And another thing that didn't get a chance to talk about, but I'm finna dive into that right now, are injuries. How do we get pissed off when we find out that a potential starter or someone that we spend a lot of money on drafting a player or acquiring a player for another team, and this guy gets hurt in training camp. He's hurt. So I'm going to look at, here's some information here. These are some preseason injuries from last year. Preseason injuries. You guys remember Cam Akers? Cam suffered a torn Achilles while in training camp. Cam Akers. Now, he was supposed to be a key player for the Rams, although the Rams did go on and win the Super Bowl. But I'm just saying that was a preseason injury, and he was out for the year. Out for the year. And then there are the Jets, Jets. Say it with me now. Jets, Jets. Carl Lawson. They picked him up from, I believe let's see. They got Carl Lawson from the Cincinnati Bengals. $45 million. Okay? Same thing. Torn Achilles tendon. Out for the season. Hurt in preseason. Now, you talk about a kick to the gut to a fan. Because, you think about, whoa, we got such and such this year. Man, he's going to do. Then, boom, he's out for the season. What the hell, man? That's when you really think about why the hell do we play these preseason games. Another major injury. Travis Etienne, Jacksonville Jags, former Clemson running back. Former Clemson running back. College roommate of the starting quarterback. All-world quarterback that the Jags had. In other words, he was his binky, his pacifier. In other words, hey, me and this guy go back to the college days. He's my safety blanket. I know he's going to be there. I know what he can do. Trevor Lawrence looked around and Travis Etienne is not there. He's out. Foot injury. Preseason. So there is merit as to why I'm saying the hell with preseason games. Now, but I will say, and I will say this as I fold my arms and put them on the table here. It is about revenue. It is about revenue. Everything in the NFL is about revenue. Nobody's bigger than the league. Nobody at all. No owner's bigger than the league. Protect the shield. But it's about that revenue. So they took and Jerry Jones, I think a year or so ago, took a look at this thing and they were having a conversation. And Jerry, sometimes you have to know Jerry is wise. I'm not a Cowboy fan, and you all can see I'm decked out from head to toe in Commander gear, but I am a fan of wisdom. And Jerry is all about that dollar. So Jerry floated this out there, and I knew a conversation had to been going. Jerry said, hey, why not think about trading one of these preseason games for an additional regular season game? And everybody like, what? Now the fans like, oh, hell yeah. Yeah, Jer. We can go for that. And the players like, no. That means it gives me an extra chance to get injured. So hell no. Hell no with hot sauce on it. But they compromised. And it was a win-win for the fans. As I was saying, there are no more 8-8. So here's the justification. As I was talking to Jella from Grand Prairie, nobody watches. If nobody's watching, that means there's no revenue. In fact, some of the information that I read that the ratings were higher on the worst Thursday night games, and I'm not gonna say who they were. The ratings were higher for some of the worst regular season NFL games as compared to any of the best matchup for preseason games. So the league took a look at that, and they said, wait a minute. We got to do something about this. But they also said, hey, even the worst playoff games, you're going to always have 20 million people watching. That means more butts in seats, more eyes on TV screens, more money being spent, more merchandise, more cash. So that was the trade. It was a good trade-off. One additional game, an extension of the playoffs. Everybody happy. I'm happy. Jella from Grand Prairie is happy. And so that's where I think, would I like for it to be an additional game? Would I like for it to be only 2 preseason games and 2 additional regular season games? Yeah, if we can figure out some way to put some of that money in the pockets of the players. Because if the players are not going to get paid, then I'm not really behind it. Because I know from an owner's perspective and from a fan's perspective, hell, I would love to see that going on. But, So I was like, what the hell, man? What the hell? So that's why there's some changes going on. They're good for the league. But it goes back to what I'm saying. Do we really need preseason games? Do we need it? Nobody's watching. And so I was talking to one of my regular callers, and that is Ricardo Malbrew, and we talked about revenue. And I asked, now back in the days, and I don't know if they're still doing this, and I have to check into it, that if you are a season ticket holder, I think they made you buy the preseason games at the same regular price. Now, I haven't really had to go and do a little research to find out, but I do know a preseason game, if I'm a fan and I want to go, they range anything from, I think, $12 to $1,000. All depends on where you want to go and see. So they are affordable. You can actually afford to go in and watch a good preseason game if you want to go watch one. That's cool. But if your at-home experience is terrible, and if you're at Buffalo Wild Wing like I want to be, and that's a shameless plug for you guys. But if you at Buffalo Wild Wings where I hang out, then I want to be there, but I want to be where, now I'll be honest, if I'm in Buffalo and I'm there, hell, whether I'm watching the game or not, the fun still going to go on. But the fun will be better if we had regular games, more regular games. Train Touch Muscle Therapy is a leader in medical and sports massage. Their motto is, what we do is deeper than a massage. It is muscle therapy. Ross, Earl, and the entire team are there to serve you, starting with the new client special of $60 for 60 minutes. Mention that you heard it on Sports Therapy with FH Jr., and they will throw in a CBD cream just for you. Train Touch Muscle Therapy. They have advanced massage techniques to help restore clients' muscle functions. They have over 1,000 online reviews with an average rating of 8.4 stars. So if you are visiting Dallas, or if you live in the Dallas Metroplex area, you can call 469-754-1232 and make an appointment to Train Touch. Now, as I was saying, we hate preseason football. The league has done something to improve our experience. Yeah. And because we are the fan. Now, are we going to go anywhere? No. The NFL knows what it has in fans. And the NFL constantly adjusts. They constantly adjust. I was just listening the other day when I think DirecTV would no longer have the NFL package. I don't know how that's going to work. But whatever comes out, I'll be right there because I have to be able to watch all the games. So I do have DirecTV with the NFL package, but I don't know how that's going to change. But I know that it is going to change. In the NFL, they change. They're always looking at the data, looking at the trends, and they're always following. Want to know who are our fans? What are they asking for? Because it's not just a male-driven fan base anymore. The demographics is different. We got more young ladies, females watching football. And to be honest, they're the ones who are spending the money. They're the ones who, the average guy, hey, we might just buy something for ourselves. But moms, they're going to buy NFL gear. They're buying for the kids, everybody, the friend, the dog, everybody. Guys, then we're going to buy stuff for the man cave. As you can see, let me move to the left. See, you got the man cave. I got my sign up there. We'll buy that kind of stuff. But as far as spending money, nah. That is, so that's what we do. So, folks, we're getting ready to wrap it and cap it for this week of Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. So you're finna hear my music, and I'm finna get out of here. But before I go, I want to say a big hello to my family down in the great state of Arkansas, to my sister Hazel, to my sister Helen, to my nieces, nephews, all the country Kennies. Thank you all for supporting me. Now, those on the yard, remember, I always say, stay golden, baby. This has been Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr. I'm out.